Bahamas, you're tuned into MB12, broadcasting from Cable 12 Studios on Robinson Road. Coming up tonight in news, the chairman of the Bahamas Electricity Corporation says there will be no more double dipping on sick pay. The unions are enraged. Police cracking down on white-collar crime, plus Halloween safety tips. We've got those stories and so much more coming up. I'm Paige McCartney, and MB12 starts right now. Bahamas Electricity Corporation Chairman Leslie Miller once again at odds with employees over, quote, greedy actions by some employees contributing to the financial straits of the entity. Up to Tuesday, BEC workers were able to collect sick pay from both BEC and National Insurance Board for the same period. However, Miller has now imposed a corporation-wide policy ending this practice. Miller said he's going to put an end to the so-called double dipping, leaving its line staff union up in arms and threatening to take action. Dana Smith reports.
The Bahamas Electrical Workers Union and BEC Chairman Leslie Miller are facing off yet again. The union is threatening industrial action in the face of Miller's stance on sick pay. The union says Miller is out of line and has no right to mandate the actions of the National Insurance Board.
The corporation, in our humble opinion, does not have the right to mandate what National Insurance does. If you want to mandate what National Insurance does, you go and you be the chairman of National Insurance and not the chairman of BEC. And I think that the corporation and or Mr. Miller is out of line.
Union President Greene said the union is sick and tired of what he called the dictatorial attitude of the corporation's appointed leadership. He accused Miller of taking away employee benefits and decreasing the lifestyle of its employees. Greene said the union has a right to negotiate better terms and conditions, and if Miller were to stop workers from collecting sick pay from NIB, that would be in breach of contract. Greene said the union will follow grievance procedures and attempt to work the issue out internally. But if that doesn't work, the union will take action.
We will take the necessary external and legal action that needs to be taken. And if that includes industrial action, we'll be prepared to take that too. Maybe not a strike, but there are other ways to skin a cat. And we feel that the action and attitude that has been displayed by this chairman since he has come to BEC is not conducive to the corporation, is not conducive to the employees of the corporation, is not conducive to the Bahamian people, and is not conducive to the Bahamas.
Responding to the union, Miller would not back down. He said the practice of collecting both sick payments is simply not going to be allowed any longer.
In my opinion, as executive chairman, and speaking on behalf of the board members, the majority of them, I think it is grossly unfair to the Bahamian people that employees of BEC are being unjustly rewarded by being able to collect a payment from NIB and at the same time collecting their full salary from the corporation which is owned by the Bahamian people.
Miller explained the intention of the NIB Act regarding the matter was only meant to supplement salary portions that are not paid by the employer. While some agencies have allowed employees to receive both, Miller said, in present times, this cannot continue.
All employees will no longer be allowed to double dip by collecting both NIB benefits on a full salary at the same time. It will not happen.
The union says it is hoping to resolve the matter in-house without having to take industrial action. But Miller is standing firm in his stance that workers cannot collect sick pay from both sources. Reporting for MB12, I'm Dana Smith.
Well, recently revealed statistics show that local banks have reported being defrauded millions of dollars this year. Head of the Central Detective Unit, Superintendent Paul Roll, says more and more criminals are using computers as their weapon of choice. Jasmine Bonamy reports.
Police today revealing that they are clamping down on cyber crimes. This as officials reveal they're beefing up data protection across the country. According to statistics from the Business and Technology Crimes Unit of the Police Force, so far this year, banking institutions have reported a net loss of over $25 million to police. That figure does not include people who have been individually targeted. Speaking at a data protection seminar this morning, Commissioner of Police Allison Greene said the country is under threat by the growing incidences of cyber crimes. But not everyone is targeted for money, says Superintendent Paul Roll, who headed the Commercial Crimes Unit when it was first established 7 years ago. Roll said the police force is also concerned about child pornography and the growing incidences of defamation through social media websites.
But you have the young pornography, persons taking photographs of young individuals and posting them onto the internet, using the internet as a tool to defame individuals. We've seen quite a bit of that, and then of course, as I said, attempts to access individuals' personal data.
He noted that 13 officers trained last year in high-tech and internet-related crimes. Last year, a digital forensic investigations unit was set up at CDU with assistance from the U.S. Embassy.
We have quite a bit of persons that were trained, both here in New Providence and in Grand Bahama. We have established a cybercrime lab, and that lab has been very, very effective in helping us with our investigation, not only for cybercrime, but criminal investigations as well.
According to statistics presented earlier this year, white-collar crime nationwide has resulted in the loss of over $11.5 million from various businesses and unsuspecting Bahamians last year. Greene said the police force will work with the data commissioner to prevent the cyber threats. Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Bonamy.
The Office of the Data Protection Commissioner held its first ever National Training Symposium at the Sheraton Cable Beach Resort today. Prime Minister Perry Christie officially opened the seminar. Also present were State Minister for Investments Kalis Roll and State Minister for Finance Michael Halkitis. Halkitis addressed the group, saying the flow of information between jurisdictions is critical.
This training takes a collaborative approach and brings together industry stakeholders from both the public and the private sector. This effort of the public and private sector is critical, I believe, to the development of our nation. It is my hope that we will see more joint efforts between the public and private sector in other initiatives. It is my hope that we will see more joint efforts between the public and private sector in other initiatives.
This year, 3 industry experts were honored at the seminar, including NIB Director Rowena Bethel, former Data Commissioner George Rogers, and Superintendent Paul Roll. Halkitis added that in the Bahamas, data protection is vital for sustaining the banking industry and financial systems. The State Minister added that training provided by the Office of the Data Commissioner is commendable. He added that it educates today's participants on safeguarding their personal information and promotes privacy awareness, among other things. Well, stick with us when NB12 returns. The benefits of an urban renewal foundation, and later some safety tips for all of you hitting the streets to trick or treat tonight. We'll tell you more about those and other stories when NB12 comes right back.